And welcome back to Hannity. Now, the A&E network wasted no time suspending Phil Robertson indefinitely, all because he simply expressed his right to free speech and his religious views. But we can't help but notice the glaring double standard. When people on the left make outrageous remarks themselves, liberals are quick to turn a blind eye. For example, nothing ever happened to these Democratic lawmakers after making these highly offensive remarks. Watch this.
I bowled a 129.
That's very good. Yeah. Oh, that's very good, Mr. President.
This is like Special Olympics.
When you got the first sort of mainstream African American who was articulate and bright and clean and a nice-looking guy, I mean, that's a storybook.
In Delaware, the largest growth in population is Indian Americans moving from India. You cannot go to a 7-Eleven or a Dunkin' Donuts unless you have a slight Indian accent.
I think they're astroturf. You be the judge of carrying swastikas and symbols like that to a town meeting on health care.
And joining me now to react to this and much more, we bring in our panel. The host of Geraldo at Large, Geraldo Rivera. He's also a radio host. The VH1 Big Morning Buzz Live with Carrie Keegan is with us, and she's the host. Also, we have the LI dots. What is the name of this thing you do?
It's just the list, but the dot is before the ST.
All right, Rachel Sklar is here, who used to brutalize me in our Huffington Post column for years. Is it true or false?
It is absolutely false. It's so nice to be back.
You are so lying through your teeth, but I still love you. All right.
That's why I screwed up the .com address.
What? I didn't like, what is it? All right, so we got first mainstream African-American. He's bright, articulate, he's clean. You can't work at a 7-Eleven or a Dunkin' Donuts without a slight Indian accent. What's worse, is it that or Phil Robertson?
I'm going to say it's all pretty bad. They're all pretty much on the same level. You can't discriminate against discrimination. He's the Vice President of the United States of America. Right, he shouldn't have said that.
Where is GLAAD? Where are all these special interest groups demanding he be removed from office?
In this particular situation, I don't think that it's so much about the fact that what was going on is right or wrong. I think it's everybody's decision to sort of disassociate. If
I don't want to watch VH1, guess what I can do? Click.
Exactly. You can.
You can click. If you don't want to watch Dynasty, click.
And A&E...
Why do all these groups have to go out, target their advertisers, demand that people be suspended or fired? Why? Why can't they just accept that people don't always agree with them?
Well, they can, except that they're going to lose a lot of money. So that's the bottom line.
They're going to lose money because they're being targeted now in an ad boycott.
Yes, and if people are fans of what
there would have been another ad boycott.
Conservatives don't do that. I don't know conservatives that are targeting and trying to get liberals fired. For example, do you believe in freedom of religion, Rachel?
Of course I do.
All right, so if somebody's a Christian or a Catholic, I'm a Catholic. The Catholic Church actually thinks birth control use, artificial birth control, is a sin. They think premarital sex is a sin. They believe that extramarital sex, shocker, is a sin. And they believe that homosexuality and the practice of that is a sin.
Right.
All right, so
if
I say that, does that make me vile and a bigot?
It's different to have beliefs.
You can't express them?
Well, expressing your beliefs is one thing, but expressing them in a declarative way, so saying that homosexuality is sinful.
He was asked a question.
Yeah, but here's the thing, that this is a guy who's associated with a network, and he's espousing bigotry.
He can't express.
And not only bigotry, racism.
So every Christian that believes in sin is a bigot to you?
Absolutely not. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying
Christian
this guy,
that says
Phil
that type of sex is a sin is a bigot?
In his comments about homosexuality and his comments about black people being happier under Jim Crow, that's a difference between
is that worse
free
than Biden?
Speech and free bigoted
You're a
speech.
liberal. Was Biden a bigot?
Listen, Biden,
Is he a bigot?
I don't think that Biden is a bigot.
Okay.
I think that
clean. The first time, man, he's clean.
I think Biden. Anytime you speak out of turn, you have a choice. You say, "Did I misspeak? Should I apologize?" Or do you?
He's articulate. He's bright.
And
he's
defend.
Clean. You don't think that's a little racist?
I think the issue at hand
the issue at hand is you have a double standard. That's the issue that I'm pointing out.
The most important thing is that people are equal and that there's...
I don't think all insults are equal, and I don't think all insulters or politically incorrect people are equal. I think that Joe Biden gets cut a lot of slack because it's Joe. He has a capacity of uttering absolutely outrageous comments, and you cut him slack because you know that in his heart he doesn't mean it. The same with this fellow from Duck Dynasty. How in the world can people invest so much stock in, oh, look what he said. This is a guy from Duck Dynasty. This is not somebody who's a senator, proposing that Louisiana segregate the races again. This is a guy on Duck Dynasty. He makes duck calls for a living. He believes firmly in this fundamentalist vision of the way he sees the world. And I have to say, you talk about fundamentalism in terms of Christianity. I think that Alec Baldwin, for instance, was drummed off MSNBC by fundamentalist gay activists. I think it was fundamentalism in both sides. And I think that Alec Baldwin was absolutely right to condemn the people who are criticizing him.
That didn't happen until later. But, let me ask you, was Martin Bashir never got fired from NBC? He resigned. Was what Martin Bashir said about Sarah Palin, was what David Letterman said about Sarah Palin, was what Bill Maher says about Sarah Palin. Is that as bad? Why are they still on TV?
Everybody has a right to their opinion. It's up to the network to decide if they want to air it or not. It's their problem, and it's their decision.
Where are all these groups? As long as they agree with people politically, they don't attack them. Your side doesn't attack your side when they say outrageous things.
I actually disagree.
Yeah, I'm going to disagree with that.
When I heard about what Alec Baldwin had a history of making these homophobic slurs.
That wasn't a homophobic slur.
Okay. Well,
I mean, if you grew up where we grew up.
And yet he is no longer on the network, right?
Sean, Baldwin, and I all grew up within 10 miles of each other. And when we were growing up, in my era especially, those comments were commonplace.
No, but we're in 2013.
Yeah, but things have changed, Geraldo.
And we've accepted that.
You have to give people some slack from the...
Sure,
like
but words are loaded.
Should Paula Deen have lost her job behind those remarks?
Here's the thing.
30 years ago.
I don't believe so. Should Paula Deen have said that? Is it okay for someone to say something racist and homophobic?
You sound like the thought police that you want to monitor and fire and this one and that one.
It's the talk police, right?
Are you really that offended? Are you really so offended?
I am actually quite offended. On behalf of my gay friends.
Don't watch the show. I'll watch the show.
But here's the thing. He has a massive audience. And I don't run A&E. A&E made this decision because they said, we don't want to be associated with him.
You want to silence him because you don't like what he says. You don't like his religious beliefs.
No, it has nothing to do with religious beliefs.
Sure,
it has to do with bigotry. I don't like bigotry.
So any Christian that believes that sex not between a married man and woman is sin, any type, extramarital, premarital. Wait a minute, that's all bigoted?
There's a lot of people
who have bigoted or not?
Here's the thing, belief is one thing.
You think Christians are bigoted
Imposing your beliefs on other people is another thing.
He was asked a question. He's not imposing. He was asked a question, what do you think is a sin? And he gave an answer.
Well, I think that when you have a huge audience like that,
you have to answer your way.
Well,
you have to answer the politically correct way.
I think that A&E made a decision about what they wanted to be associated with. Do they want to be associated with bigotry? Do they want to be associated with racism?
Because they were pressured by groups that said they wanted them off the air.
I think A&E will come to rue this day because they are out of sync with the majority of the American people. And if I were a member of this family, I would say if Dad goes, we all go.
We all go.
That's where the boycott should happen, not the, people. I don't generally like boycotts, but the family should stick together. If my brother Craig and my brother Wilfredo and I, if one of us was, made a statement and we thought he was being unjustly treated, we three of us would walk off together.
I would defend you.
Would
Rachel,
defend me.
I would defend
You're allowed
VH1.
to say almost anything.
There's been a lot to defend on VH1, by the way.
I can't defend bigotry.
All right, up next, more after the break with our panel, and then we'll get their reaction to this question.